Hey guys, how's it going? Eli here, back with another video where today we're going to be having a conversation about some more big news in regards to some more reprints that just happened again. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So as always, gotta get out of the way. We're doing our weekly giveaways. All you have to do to enter is be subscribed to the YouTube channel, leave a like, comment down below to enter yourself in. Of course, we post videos each and every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And with that being said, we also have 3 winners that we also give 8 Fusion Strike booster packs to each. So 3 opportunities to enter on each video and then 3 opportunities to win with the winners. Now, let's jump into the topic where we have some crazy news. Once again, in regards to reprints, it really just sounds like the Pokemon company is just going to be catching up. But one thing I do want to talk about in regards to this, and this is going to be a little bit of speculation on my personal opinion on whether this is going to be a full reprint wave or whether this is just a small reprint that happened. So for those who don't know, and I've talked about this before extensively on the channel, I said not that long ago, about, I want to say a couple years back, back in 2020, we had a small kind of wave of Unbroken Bonds and Unified Minds booster boxes come out. So with that, I was able to purchase, at the time, it was about a limit of 2 a week. I think at the most I walked away with maybe a full case of Unbroken and a full case of Unified Minds at max. Of course, with that being said, the price of Unified Minds booster boxes went from around $300 all the way down to around, I think, as low as $120 at one point, which is what I was buying them for at that current time. So with that being said, when it was displayed for what I could purchase at the prices at, let me say at 3 more times, apologize about that. When it was displayed on my distributor page, the prices I could buy them for, with the amount I could buy them for, versus what the reflection of how this reprint really affected the overall general market, it was not being portrayed in the way in which I kind of saw it from my distributor's page, being only allocated or able to buy a certain amount for a certain price. Now, the reason why this is important is because this is going to lead into what I just found out. So I just got an email from my distributor saying that I was allocated a Rebel Clash booster box case as well as a Darkness Ablaze booster box case. Now, of course, with that being said, as you guys are aware, Rebel Clash has yet to get a reprint since the initial wave release, but Darkness Ablaze has. And so you might be saying to yourself, why is it that Darkness Ablaze is going to reprint? Why not Sword and Shield base? Which, of course, I myself have that question. But we're going to kind of talk about it a little bit into the details as to why. But first and foremost, obviously, with everything I just explained to you guys prior, the expectation that I currently have is that Rebel Clash prices are about to absolutely tank in regards to the booster boxes. I could be 100% off base, but if I'm just going off of historically what I kind of saw before when we saw Unified Minds go from 300 to 120 and then back to 300 after the initial, small wave print, Rebel Clash booster boxes are going for around 192, almost $200. Wouldn't be surprised if you started to really see them go down to 140, 120. But of course, who knows? I could be wrong. It could be just my distributor had some older backlog category, but here's where I'm going to give you guys my speculative take on why this is going to be more of a reprint than it could potentially seem. So obviously I've talked about extensively for those people that don't know, and I'm going to talk about this a lot on the channel. I was predicting that there was going to be a reprint for Rebel Clash booster boxes as well as Sword and Shield booster boxes, based on the fact of the matter that this year Cycle D, or Carless D, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, we can once again go over it, and we can go on Pokemon TCG set rotation. And as you guys can take a look, when it comes to Pokemon Worlds, there is a rotation cycle in regard to what cards are competitively viable. And the Pokemon Company tends to do prints based on the rotation cycle. As you can see, we are currently in the D... wait, hold on. A, B, C, D, E. Sorry, I'm dumb. We're in the D and E cycle. So what that basically means is cards that have D on them, as well as cards that have E on them, are in the competitively viable standard format, and so on and so forth. However, with this next World's rotation cycle in August, after more than likely going to be September, all cards in D are going to be rotated out of the standard format. So you might be saying to yourself, okay, so with that being said, how does this affect Rebel Clash? Well, I've talked about this extensively. I've said this many times before. Rebel Clash is part of that D cycle along with Sword and Shield base, along with Darkness Ablaze. So the fact that Darkness got another small reprint, or more than likely got another small reprint from what I've seen so far, just makes sense. It just makes sense to me. And the fact as well that this isn't a large reprint for Rebel Clash also has me to believe that the Pokemon Company is very much aware, and I could be wrong, but they're very much aware of the overall like slim demand for Rebel Clash. Most of the people that really want it are just people that are like, hey, I want competitively viable cards to be cheaper, or hey, I didn't get that booster box in my booster box collection. But from an overall set perspective, it was called Rebel Trash for a reason. A lot of people didn't like it. It's like if we were in the Sun and Moon era and they said, we're going to do a Crimson Invasion reprint like that, no one's going to get excited. Or Steam Siege, like no one's going to get excited. So it's like one of these things where I personally believe that this is going to be one of those smaller reprint waves that is going to have an overall effect on the market in regards to the booster box prices. You'll see, I mean, Darkness is already going for around 120 as it is, so it'll probably push down to 110, 100 again if I were to guess. I expect Rebel to do a little bit more of a deep dive. Who knows, of course. Like I said, I don't know the full extent of this wave. I'm just telling you guys what my allocation numbers are, just one case each. So you got to assume that it's less. But even then, like I said before, with Unified Minds, it was a very, very small print, and it still crashed the Unified Mind booster box prices. So it doesn't take a lot really to move the market from what we've learned, especially as demand really has started to die out recently. So it just kind of makes sense that both Darkness Ablaze as well as Rebel Clash are going to be the two main sets that they're going to be focusing on because they're about to go out of rotation cycle. Now, of course, you got to ask yourself, well, what about what's happening with Sword and Shield base? We didn't see a booster box reprint. The only thing I can really say to that so far is one, it's still possible that they're going to be having booster box reprint of that sometime in the near future. I could be 100% wrong. Obviously, it seems like I was right about this whole Rebel Clash thing, which I've been literally preaching about for the past, couple of months because people have been asking me, should I buy Rebel Clash now? Like, no, just like wait. And I could be off base because they obviously did have the print waves of the Sword and Shield base in the big box retailers, so that could be considered to be their overall, reprint. I highly doubt it. Especially considering when they did do the Unified Mind Unbroken Bond reprint several years ago, it was not like all in one wave. It was like we did Unbroken Bonds, and then a month or two later, then they did Unified Mind. So for them to announce this to happen both at the same time, or at least my distributor to announce it, it makes me kind of wonder and say, all right, I'm going to hold off on saying there's no reservations of it's out of the, we're not out of the woods yet for Sword and Shield base to get reprinted still. So I wouldn't be surprised if it still did, especially considering it's still February. August is still a long ways away. We could still see a reprint potentially happen sometime in, March, April, May, more than likely. I'm going to give my reservations on that. But, the main kind of focus is just letting you guys know, hey, if you were planning on getting some Rebel Clash or Darkness Ablaze, market's probably going to go down a little bit. So this is something that's very important. And it really goes to the bigger picture as well, because we just obviously had reprints for, or at least I talked about in my last video, we just had some reprints for Vivid Voltage Elite Trainer boxes, Shining Faith Elite Trainer boxes, and Pikachu V boxes. So once again, the Pokemon Company is really just doubling down on trying to get some more product and reprints out there because a lot of people didn't have the opportunity to get a lot of this product due to the COVID pandemic. So in my personal opinion as well, I think that I wouldn't be surprised if we now can talk about, and it was something I wasn't talking about, but now we can have speculative conversation about, is Champion's Path going to also get a reprint? Because a lot of people also didn't get access to Champion's Path. At this point, think about it, guys. Fusion Strike just came out. We've gotten Evolving Skies reprints. We've gotten Celebrations reprints. We've gotten Chilling Reigns reprints. We've gotten Battle Styles reprints. We've gotten Vivid Voltage reprints. We've gotten Darkness Ablaze reprints. Looks like we're going to get another one. Looks like we're going to get another Rebel Clash reprint. We got Vivid Voltage Elite Trainer Box reprints. Got Sword and Shield base reprints. At this point, guys, this just really goes to the statement that I've been making time and time again with you guys. as long as we're in the era that we're in, nothing is safe for reprints. And so from a long-term perspective, from an investment perspective as well, short-term, never try and, think that just because you got in at X amount of prices doesn't mean that you're not going to get an opportunity to get in at a lower price. What do I kind of mean by that? Obviously, for those people that are saying to me, I missed the boat on Evolving Skies, like I said before, you're never going to miss the boat as long as we're in that kind of rotational. I shouldn't say you're never going to miss the boat. That's not true. But don't ever feel like you've fully missed the boat when you're still so new into the rotational cycle. Not to mention the fact of the matter, this has less to do with Sword and Shield era and more to do with rotational era, if that makes sense. So I focus more on the D and E rotation than I do Sword and Shield. Because if, when we move on to the next video game, whatever that's going to be for, the competitively viable cycle, we're no longer in the Sword and Shield era. Evolving Skies is still open to reprints just due to the fact of the matter that it is still in the rotational cycle and it is still a set that is very, very popular. So you can never really count that kind of stuff out. So, we're obviously seeing that, of course, like I said before, Robo Clash, Darkness Ablaze. And then also, I just also got a little bit of allocated Evolving Skies pre-release kits that I have available to me. I wouldn't get your hopes up on that as far as that being a Evolving Skies reprint coming confirmed. But like I've been, preaching to the choir about, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another Evolving Skies reprint happen within the next year of 2020. So, I wouldn't be super worried about it. And obviously, you can take a look at the market price as well for, man, I'm doing a lot of repeating on words today. I apologize, guys. Apparently I just do that. I mean, obviously Evolving Skies is at 147 now. If we're just talking about just the overall price, we're going to have a video on Brilliant Star on Monday. We're going to talk about that because I know I've had a lot of people really ask me questions about, the timing of that. I've done some videos about it, but we're going to go more in depth now that we have the kind of set release officially unveiled for English. So, I mean, honestly, guys, don't get too discouraged about this. For those people that, were following my channel and were listening when I said 90, 100 bucks, 110, if you got in at that price, congratulations. If you were to sell right now on TCG Player with fees, you probably made about 20 to 30% return. Of course, if you don't sell on TCG Player and you just were to sell off market for a better deal, then congratulations to you guys. You just made an absolute killing. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. Everything's always open to reprint. One other thing I will say, this has less to do with reprints and has more to do with just old product that's resurfaced again, because I've talked about this with videos. Unbroken Bronze display cases. So that is also crazy to talk about. I am in the talks with my distributor on how much I'm going to be allocated. I know they said they only had a small amount, so I'll be interested to see how much that's going to be. But when I say display cases, basically what that is it's one booster box of Unbroken Bonds. It's 8 of the standard theme decks, and then a bunch of other goodies that they have in these display boxes. But, of course, in these display boxes are Unbroken Bond booster boxes. So for those people that want, once again, to get the opportunity to get in some Unbroken Bond booster boxes, prices are more than likely also going to go down for that as well. So because as we saw with, let's say, Fates Collide, we'll take a look at that. If you guys don't remember, I've been kind of preaching about this with Fates Collide at this point. I had said it wasn't a reprint. I said it was just old product resurfacing pre-release kit. It was going for $500. Just old inventory popping up, which caused the price to drop $200. So it really does go to show you guys that even though it's not a huge wave of product in regards to older stuff popping up on the market, that still goes to show you that the prices can still drastically drop. So Unbroken Bonds, specifically booster boxes, you're probably going to see the prices go down relatively soon in the next couple of weeks to months. Now, is it going to be 50% more? More than likely not. But are you going to see, let's take a look and see what Unbroken Bonds is going for. Unbroken Bonds is going for, wow, I can't spell. Unbroken Bonds is going for $426. Do I think it's crazy to say it could go down to as low as $300? Could go down to $350? No, not at all. Because I mean, if you're telling me that in order for it to hit that 50% mark, it has to go down to $200, and you saw it go from 500 down to 300, which is about, I mean, do the math, that's about a 40% drop. I mean, if we just take that kind of same logic and you say to yourself, okay, 426 times that by 0.6, that's how much we'd be sitting at. So speculatively speaking, if we were to follow the same retrace pattern that Fates Collide did, I don't think it's out of the, cards to say Unbroken bonds could go sub $300. Like I said before, this is obviously a different, type of old product, showing up. But regardless, it's still booster boxes that are showing up. And we don't know how much of it there is, but we know that it's resurfacing. So in my personal opinion, if you are trying to pick up some Unbroken bonds, I would wait a couple weeks to a couple of months, because as we saw with Fates Collide and as we saw with oh my goodness gracious, as we saw with Lost Thunder, I mean, we can take a look at Lost Thunder as well. Obviously, Lost Thunder, on the other hand, has started to really pick up really quickly, actually. I remember at one point, this was going for low 300s. So Lost Thunder's really done a turnaround recently. But, I mean, that makes sense. Lost Thunder was already a popular set because of the Lugia. But still, I mean, the Lost Thunder pre-release kits, these were going for around $50 to $60. So if you want to see more of a better representation of how that affects things, obviously the pre-release kits, at least the ones with Lost Thunder and Fates Collide, and Steam Siege as well. Actually, you know what? We should actually take a look at that. And that's something that would actually be a good thing to look at, because I told you guys that more than likely the... Oh, that's so funny. Oh, look at that, guys. The pre-release kits, they absolutely have started to drop. I remember I talked about this in one of my videos. I said that the Steam Siege pre-release kits were more than, there was like none that were popping up. That's so funny to me. Yeah, no, this, I mean, the booster boxes have seen a slight drop off. Obviously, this just happened 2 weeks ago, I want to say, 3 weeks ago now. So you'll probably see this go lower over time. But, I mean, once again, it still shows or is indicative of the fact of the matter. This market is going to move regardless. I mean, here's your chart. 256, 206, 20% drop in 2 weeks since the announcement of that. So I'm going to say range of error for Unbroken bonds, 20% to 40% drop. My personal, kind of prediction for that. For a drop 20%, it's currently sitting around 400. You're going to be seeing more than likely it go down to 350 or lower. Hits that 40% range, you're going to see sub 300. So that just really shows you how much the power of a small backlog of product popping up really plays an effect on things. But yeah, I mean, once again, guys, big news in the world of Pokemon product popping up again. We got more Rebel Clash, we got more Darkness Ablaze, and we got an opportunity for cheaper Unbroken bonds within the next couple of weeks to a month. So yeah, I was actually, like I said before, I was actually going to have today's topic be about, we were going to have a discussion about everything that's happening with the final English release for Billion Star, but we're going to talk about that on Monday, because this was just too urgent of news, in my personal opinion, to discuss with you guys. Man, you really could make a list of all the things that I say. It's so funny. You guys in the comment section, you always point out that I always repeat a lot of the same things, but I mean, at least people understand it. I just do the same old when it comes to what I'm repeating with words. So, but yeah, that's kind of it for today's video, guys. As always, please make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and be subscribed to the YouTube channel if you are trying to enter into those weekly giveaways. 3 winners, 3 opportunities to win, as we do post videos each and every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So multiple opportunities to enter. Makes it just easier for you guys. And obviously, as we continue to grow, 2,500 subscribers is our next milestone for when we'll be giving away 12 packs to each winner, aka a full booster box away to all 3 of our winners divided by 3. So just continue to grow, and I can't thank you guys all so much enough for the support. And really, when I do videos like this, I do want to actually clarify and make sure that I say this. I'm literally going to just make videos on what I have from what I have compiled from information from my distributor. So videos like this, if my distributor says, hey, I have this product, I'm going to say, hey, I have the option to buy this product. Whether you want to look at it this way or another, I'm going to tell you my opinion. I'm going to tell you what it shows. But of course, take everything I say with a grain of salt. But just kind of want to put that out there for those people that did have a lot, of questions of, is this a full reprint? Is this not a full reprint? I'm just going to be transparent with you guys. I'm going to make it feel as if you guys have access to a distributor's list and you're able to see what product is available on the current market and how that's going to affect future prices in Pokemon. But with that being said, once again, thank you guys all so much for watching. Until then, I will see you guys on Monday. We'll be announcing our weekly winners as well as going into a deep dive on the Brilliant Star market. Peace.